Album's done. Done. We speculated at Flavor Fest what the album would be called, and officially the album is called
So It Continues.
So It Continues.
Yeah.
Recording's done.
On my part.
On your part, recording's done. So what's left at this point?
So just kind of like some post production. So GP needs to kind of like tweak some beats. You could do it. Like, so by the time this is out, it'll be done. Just waiting for some features. I think by the end of this week, I'm gonna have most, if not all of them, or most of them, all but one, I think. Then the mixing and mastering, and then after that, my album as a project is done.
Now, mixing and mastering, for most people, that's an outside thing. Most artists aren't present for that. But you came from UK and the US. Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, I'm like, for every project from Five Solas, So It Begins, and now So It Continues, I've always been hands-on. Well, this is from the beginning, you know what I mean? So like, my first studio session, this is the honest truth, my first studio session was in Nigeria, where my dad took me to, and we made the beat, recorded the song, mixed and mastered it in that one day. And I was there. So the idea of not being there when stuff is done is foreign to me. Like, I don't know what that looks like. So I just, you know, I'm always where the mixing and the mastering is, or where, even when it comes to like the making of the beat, you know, for the most part, like I'm there when GP's making that beat. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of how it is. So I have Josh, one of the guys who works at Lamp Mode, mixing and mastering the album. He did such a great job on So It Begins. I was like, yeah, let me just get you to do it again, you know? And I used to be there because I'm like, I don't like that. Change that. Put an echo there. Nice little reverb there. I like that, you know? See what happens when you do that. You know, let's try this.
Let's pan.
Just pan. Let's see what happens. Left to right. Let's see what happens, you know? So we do a lot of that. You know what I mean? So.
Now, what can we expect sonically from So It Continues, from So It Begins? Because I mean, you were in a particular place just in life.
Yeah.
You mentioned how your dad. You mentioned here in this interview, your dad was the first one to take you to the studio, and then you reference his passing on So It Begins. So you're in a different place in life now. Yeah. What can we expect? I mean, is it still going to be more of those introspective, more introspective? Like, what can we expect?
Well, I think that's my lane. You know, I think, and that's why I'm most comfortable in terms of writing. So just kind of having life and doctrine, and then meeting at the same time. So in terms of like topics, so I have a whole song where I think I've mentioned this in a lot of interviews, where I have a whole song called Lamentations, which features Leah Smith, where I'm just talking about, you know, the death of my dad and kind of like how that affected myself, my mom, my sisters. So like what that looks like. Or what that looked like in my life, what it looks like now. You know what I mean? So I have that. I have a couple. So you get that So It Begins. So like for a long time I was struggling with making this album because I was trying to make another So It Begins. Like I was really trying to do it, especially when you make, you know, what people will call a fan favorite. But then I just realized, man, like, oh, that was a season in my life. You know, I need to come out of trying to make that and just do this one now. And so we have elements of So It Begins, but we have different and unique elements in So It Continues as well, which I just pray and hope that the people like and enjoy, which I think they will. I think, I'm not sure, maybe.
Hey, last one was a favorite, you know, nominated, you know, free album of the year, not mixtape, album, folks, free album of the year. Now this one is going to be a little different though.
Yeah, you have to buy this.
We're going to have to buy this.
You have to buy this one. It'll be everywhere, iTunes, Amazon. Like the Lamp Mode merch line, the merch line store for Lamp Mode will be there as well, and some places in the UK hopefully you can get it as well. So it'll be interesting. Like that's weird to me because like my last two projects were free, so I don't know the idea of what it looks like to sell something yet.
Oh, so you don't know what it's like to, hey, let's push this to #1 on iTunes.
Yeah, I have no idea what that looks like yet. You know, so that's gonna be interesting.
What's it like now? You've had the album, you've got the label, you've got you've got this swelling response a bit. What's it like now going into this project, knowing that there is not just anticipation, but expectation. Does that change your creative process, or do you kind of tune all of that stuff out and just say, man, I'm just trying to write this album?
I think, so me and GP were really intentional in like, we have to, this album, we have to work hard at it. Partly because of this anticipation and expectation. Not from other people per se, but from each other, from ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, so we look out and people are saying, yo, man, we're really looking forward to So It Continues, blah, blah, blah. But we ourselves are like, yo, we have to create something that we feel is better than So It Begins. So we have that pressure on ourselves in one sense, not a negative pressure, but a healthy pressure, where that we are trying to, so apparently the bar was set high for So It Begins. So people tell me. And so now we see this bar. We're not trying to make that one again, but we're trying to see how we can exceed that bar at the same time. I was having fun with it as well. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing how people respond to the album. Like you said, with the anticipation. It's only recently that I've just gradually started to realize, I have fans, I have fans. I'm a regular, I don't really, maybe because I don't live in the US, I don't really know what that looks like, but when I get here, when I go to places like Toronto, like I did in February, and people came out to see me. I came out to see this London boy. What does that look like? You know what I mean? So now I have fans. So I'm excited for them to hear it. I'm excited for it to come out. So it didn't affect how we created the album. We said let's try to create some classic music as we did for So It Begins.
Awesome. Now last night you got to perform with the whole Latmo crew. What was that like, man? What was that? You're all together, one spot, one show, smash the stage. One night you got Rob and the crew behind you on the instruments. You got the whole set. What was that like performing live with everybody in one spot?
Well, let me just say that we're at Legacy now. And I'm such a fanboy of Legacy. I used to watch it on YouTube. That's just it's weird. So even last year at Flavor Fest when I saw Brian die, I was like, Rob, you have to get me down to Legacy. Just please. Just get me, just bring me here, let me just rap, please, as a fan of just what they're about, I really just wanted to come and serve them. And then so to answer your question about being with the Lambo guys is awesome. We're all so diverse, and the music we make is so different, but it's a beautiful collection of people who love Jesus and want to see Him glorified through music. So I always have fun with the brothers. So that was great for me. Look out for So It Continues. It is coming, and I pray that you are, just transformed and challenged by it and really comforted by it. So but I think I just found my ministry ethos in comforting others with the comfort that I've received from God. Which is why my music is so introspective. It's I'm not doing it just so people can cry. He's just doing these songs so we can get emotional. No, I'm doing it so that you can be comforted with the comfort that I receive. So that's Paul's teaching to the Corinthian church. Blessed be the Father of mercy, who comforts those in affliction, so that we may comfort those who are afflicted also. So paraphrase. So that's why my music is like that. Shout out to Elizabeth Elliott.
Rapzilla.com.
Now, what kind of features can we? Who can we see you expect to? Sorry, Phil. Word. All right.
That's funny.